Welcome to the Galilee. I'm so excited that you're able to celebrate this holy convocation with us. Now, some call this Rosh Hashanah. It really is the Feast of Trumpets, the day of the blasting of the shofars, found in Numbers 29. 7 lambs are to be sacrificed. You know, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 23 talks about a day of the blasting of shofars, a little bit of a mystery. We're also looking forward and
Absolutely.
into the future.
Absolutely. And yeah, so I'd say not just a memorial, but also a prophetic declaration about what is coming in the future. In looking at Sinai, hearing that shofar blast, which terrified Israel into the point where they said to Moses, like, we don't, you go talk to him because
we're going to die.
Yeah. But then looking for the future, understanding that, as Christians, we're looking for the return of the Mashiach. Of course, many Jews are looking for the return of the Mashiach as well, so I'm not trying to be exclusive. That there's going to be a shofar blast. And I think that there is also an element, it might be a little scary too in the future. But I think what's important now, together, is to hear that shofar together.
Yes.
It's a symbol of preparation for that in the future. So we are coming together and we're inviting everyone to come from the nations.
There's a king coming.
Yeah, to hear.
And we got to get ready for that king returning. And what I want to ask you is hear the sound with your heart. Hear the shofar blast with your heart, not just with your ears. Because let me tell you what, there are people from all over the world, from up in Europe, Africa, Asia, the Americas, who have joined us. One sound for one king. Let's prepare together for the return of the Lord. And let's see what Jewish people say from all walks of life here in Israel. Some of those are unbelievers. Some of those are rabbis. Some of those are, we got Joshua, Aaron. We have different people, young and young at heart. Let's hear what they have to say together. God bless you from the Galilee. So I'm here with
Joshua,
Aaron. And
you know me.
Yeah, it's fun to be Galileans, isn't
Funny,
it?
bro. Yeah, absolutely.
The best.
We spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, and you got your music, and so now you travel the world. So I really wanted to ask you, and I'm so glad for this moment, is this Feast of Trumpets, some call it Rosh Hashanah, some call it Yom Teruah, Yom Teruah, and you've been around the world many times, and you've been in different congregations and churches. But what does it mean for you, this Leviticus 23, verse 23, this holy first day of this month, this holy convocation and blasting of trumpets? It's like a little mysterious, it feels like, in a way. It doesn't give too much explanation.
Well, there's explanation after that all throughout Scriptures.
True.
I'm kind of obsessed with that trumpet sound because I'm obsessed with the return of the Messiah. Since I was little, I was really little. I was afraid the Messiah would come and I would miss it and be left behind, or whatever you describe it back then. And now I'm obsessed with it, so much to the point where, I think that Messiah is coming back and there's going to be a trumpet blast. Like Matthew 24. The trumpets shall sound, and he will gather his chosen people from the four corners of the earth, and the Lord shall descend. It's for me, it's getting real. And I think even being in Israel, not that I'm going to say any dates or even which decade, although it could be any day, when he comes, the prerequisite is the people are already here. The Jewish people are back. We're back. For 2,000 years we were scattered. We're back. The language is being spoken again, and I think that it's right before us. The trumpet shall sound, and
The rising of the
the
dead.
dead Messiah shall
Wow.
rise. Just like even our Orthodox brethren are waiting for that time for the dead to rise and
Yeah.
the Messiah to come. Well, I believe he's coming at the sound of the trumpet.
And I know that the Torah was given at the sound of the trumpet. On Mount Sinai, there was this loud shofar from above, and there's going to be another loud shofar from above at this great return moment. I know some feel it's like a coronation, sound of a coronating of the king.
Yeah.
As the king, not with a crown of thorns this time, but crowned and of rulership from Jerusalem, our nation's capital. Now I wanted to ask you, in Israel, like, what are you doing anything, blasting some shofars?
Well, it's funny. I don't think you even knew this, but my new album is coming out on the Feast of Trumpets
Right
this
now,
year.
today. This is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's ready right now. We planned it that way. It's live at the Garden Tomb.
Right.
So the purpose was, we've been depending which country you're from, we've been hiding in our graves for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Our governments have made us or not made us, depending on where you live. And I felt like even when we recorded this several months ago, I wanted to have something that represented, celebrating Yeshua. It hasn't happened throughout COVID, if I can even say that word, that ugly old word. But now we're out and we're especially in Israel, the gates are open. People in Israel celebrating, and even right now, people from all over the world celebrating.
Yes.
Feast of Trumpets right now, right here in Israel.
And was the tomb full of? Was there a body in there? Or was it empty?
Tomb is empty. That's right.
Tomb is empty.
That's why we're there. We're not there to celebrate a tomb.
Yeah.
We're there to celebrate the fact that our Savior is alive.
And resurrected. And this nation is the Lazarus nation. I mean, its resurrection is visible, and they're still returning bone to bone, and flesh and sinews and muscles and mighty army, and the blowing of the wind through the dry bone. Into the dry bones is that shofar. I think it's such a symbolic thing. What would you say to anybody around the world about this time, or that say they don't live in Israel? What about somebody over there?
Well, Matthew 24, he's going to come gather the believers from the four corners of the earth.
Get ready.
So get ready. Prepare. We're all called as believers to prepare the way. Messiah came. He died, he rose again, he's coming back again, and his appointed one man to die and then to judgment. So just to be vigilant, be vigilant and be ready.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, hey, let's all unite in the sound of one sound for one king and his kingdom to be coming here on earth as it is in heaven. Amen.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach, and thank you for taking this time.
Absolutely.
Shalom to you.
Shalom, Chaim. I love to see you every time we meet.
It's you're as an educator. I love how your mind thinks.
Thank you very much.
You don't just look at this beautiful forest. You're thinking like, what is the purpose educationally, and will people come to the Galilee and enjoy the shade and learn about the history? And it's just wonderful. And so this season we're in, it's 40 days, starting with Elul 1, and it's leading up to Yom Kippurim. And I know tradition, maybe it's not in the Bible. Tradition says that the book of life is open, and names are being written in this time. The king is not in the throne. Tradition says he's out inspecting the businesses in the field. He's out and leading up to Day of Atonement. And then there's a very important time, which is biblical in Leviticus 23, right? Vayikra, Leviticus 23, Kaf Gimel, about a blasting of shofars. So I wanted to ask you, I know shofars are very deep in the Jewish culture, Israeli history. Like I know for a war, still to this day in the wars we were in, you have this rabbi, he'll go on the tank or whatever, Puma, and he'll say, pray over everybody and then sound a shofar before going to engage the enemies of Israel. I know also in the temple there was this corner. I saw this. It was thrown down from where the temple used to stand up on Now there's this golden dome. But there was, I could see it said the area of the Tkiyat Shofar to symbolize, to signal the start of like a holy day. So what do you think about Yom Teruah, this Rosh Hashanah, Yom Teruah? What are your thoughts on this mysterious holiday?
We are calling it Yom Teruah, Yom of blasting the horn. You know, the horn is the shofar. I will call it shofar from now on.
Right.
But that's the horn.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the work. We are in the 2 days that we are praying, putting the voice of the horn, the shofar, all the day.
And do you think that it has kind of prophetic significance? Prophetic meaning, Ezekiel talks about in Ezekiel 37. It says there's a valley. We're in the Jordan Valley now, and as Galileans, and it says there will become a wind, ruach, into dry bones. Now this is technically a dry bone with the wind in it. Technically, it's like a picture, a symbolic picture of the resurrection of the dry bones of Israel, really, maybe.
Hi, maybe I will interview you because I'm learning from you a lot of things. Yeah, I really think that, it's like the Lord, it's said in Genesis that the Lord blew the wind
breath.
in our, we are not only flesh and bones, there is also a soul, there is also a neshama, we call it neshama.
Yeah.
We are built it and the Lord put the soul in us. Like we are blowing the shofar, the Lord is putting that. So exactly, if you see the pictures that the Americans took after they freed the death camps, you see how they were made.
Yeah.
And 3 years after that, we see them coming and building a state of Israel. See, we sitting here in this wonderful forest in the Galil. Of course, and that's a symbol for that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the King of the Kings. Okay.
Maybe the Messiah will come in this time.
Also, when the Messiah is coming, you're blowing the shofar.
Interesting.
Okay, so
Wow.
everything is for the future. When you're blowing the shofar, is for the future. There is going to be a war. You blow the shofar. There is going to come a king.
Yes.
In 2006, what you talked about the war.
Yes.
It was in the summer. It was when they called us. It was Tisha B'Av. It was the fast of Tisha B'Av, the day of the temple. The day the temple was ruined, and we were working like crazy in the summer. It was hot, very hot, and we put all the things into the tanks. Of course, we didn't fast. We drank because it was you couldn't fast. And it was night when everyone was ready to go inside Lebanon. And my commander got on the tank, and he talked about that this time is the temple. The temple was ruined.
Yeah.
But remember that we are saying the temple was ruined, but the Messiah will come.
Yes.
And suddenly one of the guys took a shofar and blew it, you know?
Yeah.
And it was, we knew that we're going to war. We didn't know who is coming back. Who will, and he blew the shofar, and we understood that there is something that is bigger than us. We are going to defend this place. The Galilee was, this place was
tanks everywhere, missiles.
There was missiles everywhere,
yeah.
okay? So the shofar for me, in that night, gave me a lot of understanding that we are not fighting for Avishai, we are not fighting for, we are fighting for this state that will continue.
Yeah, you know, I know that the dead will rise. In Judaism, it's a very strange thing to believe, kind of, that the dead will rise up, and at the sound of a trumpet, a shofar, there's going to be this bones rattling, and the dead will rise, and that's something very interesting.
There are things that happening in Israel
Yeah.
that we can't understand, and with the shofar, it's the same thing. Yes. Something is happening. I can't explain it. I can't. When we are standing there, And in the last 2 years, there was no synagogues, there was no temples to go inside. We were outside praying.
Yeah.
Something is happening. I can't explain it. Okay,
Yeah.
if you want me to give words to everything, there is something that is without words,
Right.
and that is that you see the kids, you see babies are coming running, and they are quiet.
Right.
Everything is quiet.
Yeah.
You can't explain it. Kids that are all the day arrive. Suddenly, there is quiet. Everybody is listening. Something is happening. I can't explain it.
Yeah. Well, so just to wrap this up I wanted to say this. When the sound of the shofar was on Mount Sinai, there was a reason for this. God was saying, I want all of the children of Israel, not just Moses. I want all to come to be a kingdom of priests for the nations of the earth, to learn something. The nations, for in you all the families of the earth will be blessed, God told Abraham. And he says, now's the time, Moses, bring them all up here at first. But then, no, we don't want, we'd rather just you go, Moses. It's too scary. And then God says, okay, even an animal gets close, it gets shot with a dart. You know, it was very scary. Smoke was on top over in the Sinai desert. And so, but this whole call of being a kingdom of priests, do you think that I believe Israel, it says Israel's supposed to be a light to the Goyim, to the nations around. And this sound is almost like saying, hey guys, we all need to be a kingdom of priests. Still, I don't know, or do you think that that's not the goal, is to be a kingdom, all of them, even the little kids, even the big, even the old, even the young, are all to be a light to the world?
Because I believe that we have to be a light to the world. That's what the Lord gave us. We have to teach. We are working for that. You know, only 74 years we got the state of Israel. We have to educate, and we have to be a nation of priests. I really believe in what you say. You know, I really believe that that's the call.
Yeah.
It has to awaken us. Okay. When we have to, when we hear these voices.
Yeah.
We have to understand that we have to be awakened.
Yes.
That we have a role. I believe in what you say. We have a role.
Have a role.
And you need the deep and the pure voice that will awake you.
Yes.
Okay?
Amen. For sure. Now, I was amazed. Everyone here that's watching this, I said, let's do one sound for one king. One sound, one king. Because it's one king over the whole world. Not only king of Israel, but all the world. There's really only one God. Not many gods. Those are all fake. There's one God. The God of Israel is actually the one creator of all the children of the earth. Yeah? So I said, send in a sound of a shofar. And suddenly someone sent from Japan. Shofars blowing.
Yeah?
Then, yes, from Indonesia, from Malaysia. Places that you'd say, this is maybe a Muslim country. Right here, as you can see,
hear it. Yeah.
It's a sound from all over, from Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, United States, England, Canada, all over the world. These sounds are coming together, and I think it's a recognizing of one king, but it's a recognizing that God is the God of Israel, and he has a plan for this country, and it's a time of the restoration. And I think this sound is a sound of God's restoring, and the nations that are good playing their part to help.
We have to work together. From all the nations, you know, we're arguing. Yeah. It's all right to argue.
Yeah.
But we have to become, to talk with one another. And when you are saying about the shofar that comes from all the nations, wow, like it's incredible. It's a waking call for everyone to think and to work together and under one Lord, like under one King. Amazing. And you did your work before Shana, that's for sure.
Well, thank you for all the work that you do to educate all the next generation, and it's generation to generation. I feel many of the younger people don't have this understanding. Some of the ones that are young at heart have more of the understanding, but now it's time for them, the little ones, to arise, the young people from all over the world, to not be lost in the social media of judgmentalism on each other, but to find God's destiny.
Sometimes you have to have quiet and one pure noise that is pure, that it's clean, and it's awakening you. Okay, that's what we have to do. It's a meaningful life. You know, look for the meaningful life in your in the
Right.
way where you're walking.
Yeah.
We look for the meaningful thing inside,
Yeah.
and I think the shofar, the blowing of the shofar, is giving us a direction for the future.
Yes.
The existence of the place that we are here. If you can give me one example for a nation that came back after 2,000 years of exile, renewed the language. The Hebrew language was dead almost. Renewed the language, renewed this place with a lot of enemies and a lot of attacks. And we have to guard with all our force this miracle. It's a miracle. You can't, if you give me another example for a nation like that did a thing like that, I will.
There isn't any other. There
there's
isn't
no.
any other. It's the only one.
Something unique happened here, and we have to guard it with all our life. That's what we have to do.
I agree.
And I think that's the role of the shofar, to give us this clean voice,
Right.
this ancient voice from the past.
Yes.
You know, it's an ancient. You have to. You are blowing only the shofar that is coming from a deer. You can't blow it from other
Right.
things. It's an ancient voice from the past
Yes.
that reminds us that we have to make sure that the future will be bright. The past is reminding
Yeah.
us that we are fighting for the future of this state.
Yes. We're going somewhere together.
We're going somewhere. We have a direction.
Yes,
We have a place to go there. Okay, and every year we're doing it.
Well, thank you for uniting together
Thank
in
you very
the
much
hope for
for
the future,
asking.
and
Me.
keep on seeking that voice, seeking to hear that voice together.
Thank you very, very much.
God bless you.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Good year.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
ברוך הבא בשם אדוני, hallelujah.
I am so excited to be here with my friend Arik. Wow, a hero, a son of Israel, a Jewish hero because his heart cares for the young ones of Israel. And some children, they need some help. Some are struggling. Some just need that encouragement. And this place as a hub of activity where kids get to feed the chickens, feed the rabbits, feed the fish, take care of the hamster, take care of the mice, take care of the birds, and really get their hands dirty, and not just watching cartoons, but raising a generation who understands the land of Israel and reaps their own crops, their growing crops, looking around at what you've built. I see it's still in the process of being built, and I'm so excited to
So in other words, to finish before Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
We have just 1 week to work, so everything
Oh, that's amazing.
is on working now.
I wanted to ask you a few words. First of all, thank you for your great mitzvah, your great, and you don't give up. I very much love you. Won't give up.
No.
Even though it's hard to build all these things and not much money and not much time, and you have a family of young kids like me.
No, I know.
But you care for all the kids of this Galilee area in a town like this. Thank you. But so a couple words,
You're
if I
fine.
could, ask you about this, Yom Teruah. Like there's this blasting aspect of this Leviticus 23, Moed, divine appointment, that God has asked us to blast shofars, and it seems a little bit mysterious for some people. Like why?
דיברנו על זה מקודם.
And we spoke about
I
it. Yeah.
moved to Hebrew because it helped me to...
Okay. Yeah.
דיברנו על זה מקודם,
We spoke about it.
שתקיעת שופר, תקיעת שופר הגיעה מקבלת התורה.
Yeah, the
שמה-
shofar blast he's saying came from when we received the Torah, when Mount Sinai was shaking, and the shofar blast was heard from God himself.
ואז לא, בשביל לעשות את כל הקולות, היו המון קולות שהגיעו משמיים.
And there was many voices heard, many sounds heard from heaven that came down to earth.
אז בשביל לקיים את המצווה באהבה ובנשמה יתרה.
Right, and to fulfill God's request.
בוקר טוב, יגאל.
to fulfill God's request in Leviticus 23, His command that we observe this day and blast the shofar, we want to exhibit those multiple voices and sounds.
בדיוק, ובשביל להיות בטוחים אז עשו את כל הקולות ודואגים לעשות את זה פעמיים.
Right.
אז זה 30, בהתחלה זה החובה, ואז ידרו את זה לסט נוסף של קולות, ואחר כך עושים את זה פעמיים.
Right, so we don't just do one blast. We really want to try our best to encapsulate and to exhibit all the blasts that the shofar can make, all these different sounds, and do it again, do it twice. Really don't miss one of the sounds of heaven in this time.
And this is what helped the world to be a better place. Because the people, we want to learn, all the people made more than יותר ממה שהם חייבים.
Right, beyond what you have to do. Yeah.
כי אם כולם יעשו כל הזמן רק את מה שהם חייבים, איפה יהיה המפגש, איפה יהיה החיים, איפה תהיה הקהילה, איפה יהיו המעשים הטובים.
Yeah, love and life are beyond what's mandatory of you. It's the extra that is true love. And so at the sound of the shofar, may it shake up the enemy, and may God look upon it and says, look at this, my son, he's doing his very best. And that's what I think you're doing, your very best from the depths of your heart. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And tamshich bechavod.
Amen.
And for the glory of God.